This is a clue, you guys. You know Scorpio is a river. See this? That's the river. The moon is a famous river. We've got a problem with this famous river. Everyone's thinking about this. This is a cat burglar. I've been talking about it for a while. I want to know who the cat burglar is. Mercury, anytime you have it in a square, is going to show a thief. And that time frame could be activated now. We're talking about stairs. We might be seeing a man in red. It's coming out. He's the king. This is a royal, maybe. Look at the water behind him. 2 of Wands. I mean, it's definitely in the press, and it's a pretty big shock. It's in the 7th house of the U.S., and the 7th house represents allies. If you've got Mercury in a poor aspect, you better watch yourself. Somebody's looking at what you're doing and they want to take it. Who is this thief that we're looking at? This is what the thief looks like. Welcome to Astrology and Crime. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. Thanks for watching. We are talking about a burglary tonight. So glad you could join me. Will these people be caught? Whoever broke into the Louvre today, October 19th, during the day, it involved thieves using a basket lift to access the museum's 2nd floor via its Seine-facing facade and steal several historical jewels. The group used a hydraulic lift on a truck, which is a common sight on Parisian streets, to reach the gallery where the French crown jewels were displayed. After smashing display cases and taking several items, the thieves fled the scene on motor scooters. And that's from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So they used a truck-mounted lift or basket lift. They gained entry on the Seine-facing side of the building, and they cut through the windows with a disc cutter to enter the Galerie d'Apollon, where they smashed display cases, and they fled the museum on motor scooters, waiting on the street near the river. So the river took center stage, which we were thinking about just last week. I just had a feeling there was going to be some kind of burglar in the news, and the chart showed me correctly. I'm going to be doing the Kirk mystery tomorrow. As a reminder, Pluto just turned direct. We're still in shadow, but as Pluto begins to move direct, we are going to see more and more and more secrets come out. We are sick of secrets by now, but it has just begun. In fact, it might actually be pretty good because we want to know what we don't know. Don't forget Saturn. Saturn, thank the Lord, moves direct November 28th. On or around November 28th, you are going to see some news. You're going to see some things come out that we've kind of been on pause about. And as Saturn starts to move forward, the break comes off. Not as much delay. And then finally, it's going to be moving into Aries. We're happy about that in February. Saturn, of course, means responsibility. It means drying up of a house. It's been hard, not just for Pisces, it's been hard for quite a few signs in these last 6 to 9 months. This is what everyone's talking about in this part of the chart. Mercury was activating in this time period. We would start the USA solar return chart July 4th. So it'll be July, August, September, October, in this time frame, in the October time frame. So that's when Mercury activates. We kind of got a clue that it would be an ally, that it would be a partner of the US that was having a real hard time, because Mercury is in Leo, which can represent England. It can also represent France. It would not surprise me if there is another heist or a group of heists, maybe in the next couple of weeks, because we're talking about kingdoms, different kingdoms. So group of kingdoms are hit from a Scorpio type of energy. This could be a group of famous rivers. So keep your eye on that. So Leo, of course, there are other countries that are Leo, but I think of probably Canada. So Canada, England, and France. I am going to look at the French, the Paris actually birth chart. That's where it is. It's actually September 22nd, 1792 at 9:18 a.m. It's so interesting that the rising sign for Paris is Scorpio. Lots of jealousy, betrayals, but also very, very high end real estate, famous murders, maybe. You can also see Uranus at the top of the chart. And what are we always seeing with France? We're seeing strikes. So Uranus, depending on the transit, is going to constantly be in this opposition with Pluto, which is a big strike. When they strike big. What we want to do is we want to go to the solar return for this year. So we are, funny enough, right in the Algol fixed star area of the Paris chart, which means Paris loses its head. It's an evil. It can be, when poorly aspected, an evil period. When well aspected, it can be very nice, but it is kind of half and half, because we're going to look at Venus that represents this time frame, and it's kind of coming right up to October 22nd. Uranus, I bet, is representing the shock of Paris, that this would actually happen. Venus, interestingly, is Medusa. It makes me wonder, there was a gang basically that reportedly stole these jewels, Napoleon's jewelry, but I keep seeing a female. Now, this could represent something like a report about how they live on Marie Antoinette Boulevard or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean a female, but it seems as if there is some kind of female in the wings here. Some female there aspecting, well, Capricorn. This can be a woman of history, because Capricorn represents history. So let's look at this for a second. This is total shock, and that's going to happen for a little while. Mercury is about to activate. So we're going to go from Venus to Mercury, and Mercury represents the thief. There are two aspects, pros and cons. This looks pretty bad. This has to do with politicians are coming out, famous politicians. People are pretty mad in this time period, and that's going to go on all through November. They are very upset. Maybe the security wasn't as good as it should have been. I mean, come on, guys. At this day and age, you don't have sensors on the window, motion sensors. It's just unbelievable and sickening that they would be so lax. In fact, I believe the security head had complained to a politician, I think back in January, that there was not enough security. So there was even a protest that there was not enough security at the Louvre. Everybody's tied up and spun up about this and angry. Interesting how, when you have in your own solar return chart a rising sign that is Aries, it's going to test for the country chart. People are going to be angry. Not always, though, because the Mars, which rules the chart, if it's in good aspect, which it is to some degree, but not always, but it's in this big T square, and this means outrage. It can mean just being impatient and making mistakes, but this is just beyond outrage. That probably was coming in right at the birth date, September 22nd of Paris, and it was pretty fast there. I think there was a protest. Then it's going to come in again, probably later on in the summer in 2026. Well, whenever Mars is aspected, really. So it's going to be maybe late March as well. So expect those types of highlights for Paris. But getting back to a clue here, well, let's see. We're going from Venus to Mercury, yet because, I mean, we saw this T square here with the red triangle, but we do see a very big blue grand trine, which is that's very, very good. But it could mean that it's good for these thieves. So my guess is that they might have the politicians. This is a thief right here, poorly aspected. Seems as if a thief might be found dead because of the opposition. It's an opposition to the sun, but still, I would say that there's an orb close enough to show that maybe there is somebody who is a little too slow. There is a despair of a thief. So maybe I should ask that question. Hey, Angel D. Yeah, there were many burglaries weeks prior in different prominent places. I quickly read. I think a museum. Wow. I know, isn't it? It's so amazing. And Green Eyed Love, Love, Love is here. Thank you so much. And yes, Carla Paris is here. Hi, Carla. All right, so we got a little group here. That's good. Wish we'd get our names back. I guess you have to redo your name on YouTube. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. So that's the Parisian soul return chart. And there definitely is something where fate is not on this person's side. I see the moon here, and the moon is within a tight orb of Mercury, which is maybe a famous thief gets stopped. That's a possibility. And with the opposition, because Mercury opposes part of fortune, we like to look at part of fortune. We want to see if somebody's going to be successful or not. And it looks like a thief is not successful. Now, that could come around now when Mercury's activating, could come around maybe early March, as well as probably the August, September timeframe of 2026. So you can see that it's aspecting there. Whenever the red lines go through a house, you just find out what house it is. And of course, if you're just joining me and you have no idea what I'm doing, I pull the solar return chart for whatever we're talking about. In this case, Paris. And I take each house and make it a month, starting with the birth date. And that would be the rising sign. And then every month is reflected in a house. So we just read the house for that month. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. All right, let me get on to the next one. Here is a quick primer on what we look for with crime charts. And if you are interested in becoming a member, you can join us for True Crime Tuesdays. The replay is for members. The Charlie Kirk is also going to be replay for members as well. So I hope you can join me. And also check out my readings. You can go to astrologywithval.as.me. Angel, you said my friend lived in Paris for years. Scary. It's so funny how fast. That's so funny that you said that. People were telling to check where George Clooney and Brad Pitt are. And one kind of omen we could see is it was just maybe a week or two ago when there was news that came out that they were going to start filming Ocean's 11. So I thought to myself, I wonder if that's some kind of omen. We're going to see something about a burglary. Shauna, you're so sweet. Thank you. All right. Let me see if I can get this banner off. Hold on. All right. So there we go. You've studied it. And remember, it's not always like 1, 2, 3, all the way around to 12. It could be, let's say, the third house from the perp, which would be the seventh house. So the seventh house is always the perp. First house is always the victim. And we could see if this, the seventh house is a perp. We could look at the eighth house, which is the second house from the perp, and we'll see what the money is like. So what their financial state is, and so on and so forth. So we're going to see what we can see tonight. Oh my God, we've got Scorpio there. We've got gang members, it looks like. I mean, people are going to refer to this crime as something that has to do with a gang. You've already seen it in the headlines. Scorpio's gang, Gangs of New York. It's the Martin Scorsese astrological sign. Scorpio represents a river. So River Phoenix, his name, well, he's a Scorpio rising. So we are going to be seeing some Scorpio names, and that's part of what I'm going to get into in part 2. What could be the names of some of these people? Well, we're going to look to see where Pluto is, and Pluto is here. Looks like this happened in a local, like a local area. And they are local. So maybe they are actual locals. Third house is also where the cars are. And this could mean that this is a parking garage. It could be a place where, with Pluto near that Aquarius, well, people are going to associate this crime with a lift. So something that goes high up to the next floor. That's Aquarius. We might actually see something that has to do with the eyes, and or Aquarius also represents ankles too, but something with eyes. And I'm going to show this to you tomorrow in part 2. But one, there's some similarities with the Kim Kardashian crime chart, and one of the burglars was named, I think, Old Blue Eyes or something like that. So there's going to be kind of those types of profiles or identifying factors here. So looking at this, you've got that blue triangle. That's pretty good for whoever wants to commit this crime. But really, this also represents the victim as well. So we can look to Venus. Now, the rising sign really shows the personality of the crime itself, but we can look at Venus to see what's up with these perpetrators. And wow, this looks like a famous woman again. This is a female clue, but because we have that opposition there with Saturn, this is a dead female. So this is probably going to be somebody who is very beautiful, somebody who's very famous, and might have something to do with maybe Napoleon's second wife, like her jewelry. Saturn is old. Pisces is jewelry. It's stuff that sparkles. That's what Pisces like. They like sparkly things. And yet, we can look at this area in the 11th house of community to give us some kind of clue that this could be a community near a courthouse, which is not so far away from the Louvre, but it could be a famous courthouse. And why would we even look at this? Well, it could be a clue. We could look at CCTV cameras that had to do with courthouse where people get married, where there are a lot of famous musicians. This is a very, very famous female musician. So could be the street name named after her. That could be a clue. And so that might be as like part of the path here. Now, with the 9th house, we're going to see what's going to be written about this crime. So we're going to look at the moon, and there we go. The moon, it's going to be so famous. Oh my God. With Uranus, this is, we're going to be seeing themes of twins. So this could be just a crime that we've seen before that's going to remind us of something. Maybe an Ocean's 11 type of movie, or it could be an actual crime that happened maybe years ago. Let me see if I can get anything on this woman. Is there an actual human living woman that is part of this case that would represent a criminal in this Louvre burglary? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, my common sense says no, but I keep seeing that female there. Is there a female that's part of this group of, I mean, it is jewelry. Wow. Seems like it. Woo, just got a chill. Okay. Yes, the Empress Eugenie. This is a star, which would be somebody very famous. You know, it's hopefully it's not Julia Roberts wants these jewels. And it's so way up high. This is so Aquarius. It's like an Aquarian female. Clarifier on if a female is involved in this crime. Okay, Knight of Swords reversed. So doesn't mean a no, but could mean maybe isn't so fast. This is like when it's upright, it's somebody who gets away fast, which they are saying they did. But there is maybe something from these cards that shows that maybe this female, maybe as part of this squad or crew or gang, was a little bit slower than the rest. So maybe I'm getting something like that. Perpetrators, these burglars, give us some type of descriptor. 9 of Cups reversed. Well, they definitely tripped and ruined a crown. It's going to need to be repaired. These people are down on their luck, it looks like. Maybe they had a change or reversal of fortune. 9 of Cups. This could be maybe near water. It's Fergie. Yeah, just because everything is Fergie at the moment, I know. Fergie did it. Totally. She's the woman. She's a wild woman. All right. But all in all seriousness, woman we're getting that's part of this crew. 10 of Cups, has a family, has a big family, is very happy, maybe wealthy. Is this person that we're talking about up until recently, has she been very wealthy? Apparently not. Apparently, oh, there's a money issue. There's a money issue. Somebody is down on their luck. They're going to get caught too. Let me get a card on whether there's going to be some type of an arrest in the next 2 to 3 months. In this day and age, I don't know about Paris though. They're kind of behind the times, it seems. But in this day and age, we can find people pretty fast. We're looking at somebody who's going to be caught in the next 2 to 3 months. Wow, I really shuffled that deck. Knight of Swords. So it looks like yes. And it actually might happen faster than 2 or 3 months. I know, insurance. Not sure. Probably. Clarifier card on some arrests. Are they coming soon? Yes. Okay. And they're going to be holding some things maybe that we can get, that we can return. So looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Doesn't look like everything's going to be returned. It might, but because I'm seeing those T squares. Remember, the universe is testing us. When you've got Aries rising on your solar return, it's like something that's going to really upset you, that's super unfair if your Mars is poorly aspected that year. I think we need a little time for everybody to be in their outraged type of mode before things start to get solved. Now, this is with all the aspects. This is the crime chart. What's on everybody's mind? These are the victims, and Capricorn. I mean, this is a museum. These are very old things. Saturn and Neptune is over here. It is poorly aspected. This is the museum here, right here. Saturn means bad locks, retrograde, bad locks. Saturn is a lock. Saturn is a gate, and Neptune is a window. So that could be a window lock or a bad window. So you could see that. And that is part of this big blue trine that helped these criminals. Got a flow here between this crew, and they are not nice people. I will tell you that right now. You have to be very careful when you go after these people, because we've got Black Moon Lilith and we also have 18 degrees. Both represent very, very, when in poor aspect, evil mindsets. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if these people are murderers. In the Kim Kardashian crime, the way that they found at least one of the burglars or perpetrators, I mean, it goes beyond burglary. I mean, they completely terrified Kim Kardashian, but they got the DNA off of the zip tie, which was pretty groundbreaking for 2016. Are we going to get DNA here? I mean, the answer is yes, because Pluto is very well aspected and in Aquarius, the sign of DNA. So it certainly seems as if we are going to see some DNA, and it's going to be found possibly in the street, third house, maybe in a car. It certainly seems like it. And gosh, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's going to be a group of pieces of DNA. So that's really good. Let's look and see what's up with the police. And this is intriguing to me. And then I'm going to pull a card on this. Mars is the police. You could look at Aries too. This could be a policeman, but let's look at Mars. It's a group of policemen. It seems as if there could be some bad policemen. So, and they're kind of like right out in front of the victim or the museum. I mean, this is where they came from, the riverside. So, Venus. Yeah, I mean, it does look like there's a group of maybe security people, something like that. It might be an inside job. So I want to take a look at that. I mean, Mars is the police. Black Moon Lilith, we don't like that. We don't like Mercury, which is thieves. Hey, beach butterfly. Yeah, I know. Elphaz, I can't believe they just had to break a window. Angel, about the insurance. Oh, I mean, can't even imagine. $500 million? I don't know, something very big. And who knows if it'll even be paid, but let's ask about the local police force. Give us a profile. Let's just be unbiased. Parisian cops. Oh, yeah. Weak, very, very, very weak. Is there somebody who on that police force who knows something about this crime? Seems so. Ooh, he's wearing red too, which is one of our clues. Seems like somebody, and it's the emperor, and we're talking about the empress, right? Um, was this an inside job? Was this burglary at the Louvre an inside job? I'm going to really shuffle these cards. Inside job. Did somebody help these people, give them a tip? This gang of people. Might be more than one. Might be a couple, yeah. Because Mercury is a group of cops. So that could be a really good, that could be a clue. Look on maybe, I don't know, do an investigation on some of the people who might have done security for the Louvre. Is this a security guard who is kind of greasing the wheel here of this crime? No. Queen of Wands. Okay. It's a female, though. Is there a female inside this building? Now, we know that there are a couple of females who are in charge. I don't think that they would be behind something like this, but is there some kind of a worker that might be in on this, might have knowledge of what was about to happen? Maybe a young person. Maybe she has brown hair. Maybe it's long brown hair. So somebody had an idea. So let's go back to the crime chart. And if I'm looking at workers, I'm looking at the 6th house. And 6th house is in, wow, look at that. Mars rules the 6th house of workers. It's very possible there's a bad worker we're talking about. And they seem to, they know all about, look at this, they know all about this museum with the bad window. Now, with Scorpio, and we're going to get into the names tomorrow, part 2, but we're going to figure out what kind of name we're talking about. The first name, which is what the ascendant represents in Scorpio with Mercury in there, Mercury might be a name that has a dash in it, or it could be 2 first names like Jean-Luc or, Luc being last name. So, kind of Robert Thomas or something like that. Are they French? I think they're French, but Scorpio also represents kind of Middle Eastern names. So Abdul or something like that. Let's see, Scorpio. Are we talking about, it would seem with Pluto in the 3rd house of local. I mean, they at least had a local apartment or something. They lived there maybe. But is this a group of local criminals? And let me do this. That burglarized the Louvre. There's that female again. Oh, and it's 3 of Wands. So 3 people. Yes. Oh my God. And they are like, now we can do whatever we want. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot to dump these hot jewels. What is going to be happening next for this group? Oh, I got the Page of Cups again. So this person might be revealed, this young person. And there's going to be, is there a weak chain in this link? It would seem, since I just got Page of Swords reversed again, is there a weak link in the chain of the Louvre burglary that's going to lead to progress or an arrest? Eight of Pentacles. It's possible that they don't have enough technology to really to apply to this. Clarifier card on a weak link in the chain. I mean, this is a female and she doesn't look so good. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. We are talking about now with Kim Kardashian's Heist, which was in Paris. Her group was called I think it was like the Grandpop Crew. Let me see, what was it called? I think I have some notes here. Yeah, there was one guy that was called Old Omar. And then there was one that was called Blue Eyes. There's a lot of Libra in that chart and Harmony was one of HARM, Harmony, INY. Two of the burglars had K's in their name. Interesting. With Kim Kardashian, we're talking about Leo characteristics, which could still be the case here. There's some Leo here. But with Scorpio, we'll have to see. But this is a really big tip off here. These people are willing to do anything to hurt the city. They don't care. They just care about themselves. Now there is a little octile here from Scorpio to here. Is a married famous woman. So we're going to be talking about the marriage of Napoleon and his second marriage. So that could be part of it, but there's still some other things. I did want to get a card about possibly the location. Could we get a clarifier? No, could we get a card on a clue? Just a general clue about location, where these people went. Oh my God. Queen of Swords reversed. Black hair woman. Oh, there's a woman. There is a woman. We're going to be seeing the headlines of who this woman is. I want to say Maria or something. Who do you think it is? What do you think her first name is? Really tap into your intuition. There is a female here. Oh, at first we might see just a group of men being arrested. And we're going to look tomorrow at the solar return chart to see what happens next year. It does look like there are going to be some courthouse headlines from that chart. But clarifier card on just a general clue on where this gang went next. Looks like water. Oh, so King of Pentacles reversed. So somebody maybe who doesn't have money, maybe further into France. So King is Leo, French, or could be maybe going back to where they were. So sometimes these reverse cards show going back. Yeah, like Katrina. That would be a good Leo name. Sienna. Yes. Hey, Soda Pop. Hey, KK. Shauna, I'm thinking of the movie that was part of the Oceans with the woman, Sandra Bullock. Inside, you think it's an inside job? And yeah. Okay. Let's see what else I have here. Since you guys are just joining us, I'll stay on a little bit longer. Yeah, whenever I see a Scorpio rising, I always think of the Full House guy. He had a Scorpio rising, and they said he just had a natural death, which I don't believe. I think something was up with that. God, his name escapes me. But here's the sun in a square, with Pluto. And the sun, this is a great clue here. It looks like somebody in power is in confinement, is in jail. At some point, this person is going to go to jail. So are we looking at a jail time for this person? Might even be hurt because there's an opposition to Chiron there. Might have a lot of tattoos. Chiron can represent tattoos and scars. Maybe he's got a lot of scars on his face. But are we looking at, and then I'm going to make this the last one because I got to start preparing for all my stuff tomorrow. But let me see. Are we looking at a person that's going to do jail time for this? Oh, and with the Kim Kardashian heist, uh, they they did some jail time, but because they were so old, they let them go and didn't have to finish out their sentence or anything. It's like I couldn't believe that. I wanted to know what Kim Kardashian felt about that. I mean, these guys were pretty old. So anyway, is somebody going to be doing time for this crime? Five of Cups. Looks like a yes. Again, looks like there's a female involved. Clarifier card. Knight of Pentacles. Might be able to walk. Might be able to walk. Might do a short jail sentence. I don't know. But there is some success there for that person. Could be that she's in jail and the guy walks. But, we'll have to see. But, of course, that Scorpio, we're going to be seeing some people with some black hair. And with Pluto too, like we can really look at a good profile if we really put our mind to it. Not only are we looking at the fact that this is an identifier, it's not just for the victim, but it's also for the perpetrator. Pluto is in Aquarius here. Wow. So Pluto and Venus, yeah, there's no question in my mind that there was some kind of inside work here. They definitely got inside information. You know why? Because you could see Venus represents the perp, and you could see that blue line that goes down to Pluto, which is basically the museum or a person at the museum. So there's somebody who knew something. Wow. Oh my God. There's also some good looking people in here. We've got Libra here, or they could have some kind of musical talent, or there's like a music hall. There could be a famous music hall here that could be part of maybe the escape route. Libra meaning music. We'll have to see. These are, wow. Okay, this is a very, very big clue. All right, this is famous female musician. I mean, this would be somebody like, I want to say Mariah Carey is more Taurus because she's a singer, but I want to say something to the effect of that famous. Okay, and then with a trine to Pluto, I mean that is many, 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 many musicians. So that's the homework assignment. Find a place near Louvre or maybe even in that region where there's so many famous musicians. And that could be a clue. Could even be the street name of this. Could be even a famous politician that's female that's there. And it looks like it's a local street of some sort. So we'll have to go back and revisit that. So I'm going to be on here tomorrow talking about part 2. We're also going to be looking at Charlie Kirk. So, yeah, I'm going to leave with this one last question. Will the Louvre be able to retrieve the jewels? Will they return to the Louvre? Let's see what we get. Will the Louvre get all of the jewels back? Georgina Clooney, I love it. Bob Saget, I knew you'd know. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Tamik. Thank you, Angel. Let's see. Will we get these jewels back? Will we get all of them back? That's a good one. And clarifier card. The Hermit. So somebody from afar might know about them. There's also that Saturn opposing the Libra. Saturn sometimes means guilt. And if it's in a poor aspect like that, is somebody gonna, all right, one more question. Is somebody going to feel guilty after this has happened? King of Wands. No, apparently no. But that would make me think that with Black Moon Lilith there and that little stellium of 3 planets, which is a stellium, it can show that nobody feels guilty. So I think there could be maybe one in the bunch or one who knows about this who might have some guilt. Angel Paris has streets named after musicians, including classical composers like Bach, Beethoven, and Berlioz, as well. I don't know how to say that, as well as modern artists like David Bowie. The most recent example is Rue David Bowie. Oh, good one. Yes. Yep. Yeah. So we'll have to look at it. We'll have to look at it. It does seem like a famous female, though. I think it's a famous female, a very, very successful famous female. I mean, like if it was the US, it would be like Dolly Parton or, something like that. And Margaret. So, all right. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow.